Right off the bat, it's become unbearably frustrating for me to even stay a Met fan. David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza are a cancer that this team needs to fucking cut. You're probably wondering why. Well, think of it like this. On the one hand, you have a skinflint for a GM who is basically the baseball equivalent of Appa Aliapsa from the Green Lantern comics and Donzo Shimura from the Naruto franchise. For those who don't understand the context, I'll explain. Anyone who has read a Green Lantern comic book would know that Appa Aliapsa has always been Ganthet's antithesis in terms of running the Lantern Corps when it comes to being part of the Council of the Guardians of Oa. The 2012 animated series basically painted Appa as this emotionless, overly logical, kind of a coward character who believed that willpower was the end-all, be-all emotion when Hal and Kilowog discovered for the existence of the Red Lantern Corps when they were in Frontier Space during the first half of the 26-episode series. Even banishing Ganthet because he dared to speak out that the Corps also needed to have hope, which led to Ganthet, and in the comics, ultimately Sayid, getting banished from the Corps and forming their own Lantern group, the Blue Lantern Corps. Donzo Shimura, on the other hand, if you've read the anime, the Naruto anime, watched the Naruto anime, both the original and Shippuden, the manga, the original manga, and read supplementary tie-in novel material, his laundry list is even longer than Appa basically coaxing the Guardians after the events of Blackest Night and War of the Green Lanterns to lobotomize Ganthet. As bad as that is, what Donzo did is infinitely worse. How so? Well, let's run down this shit list. Multiple assassination attempts of the third Hokage, and Hiruzen constantly sweeping under the rug, which is what Steve Cones is doing. Watching the assassination of Atini Inherited being done in real time and him sweeping it under the fucking rug. And right now the Mets just lost 11-6 to the A's. To the fucking A's. And have fallen to the 4th spot in the division. I don't care if it's fucking early, folks. Knowing Mendoza is saying, oh, we should have been handed this game with all the talent we have. Fuck you. I mean, fuck you. You're the one who constantly makes these dumbass bullpen gambles and doubles down on them instead of owning up to your own mistakes. Stearns, on the other hand, getting back on topic, in his equate to Donzo, other crimes he committed include but not limited to sabotaging attempts at a peace treaty, threatening to pull funding from an orphanage if the had none didn't rejoin the organization, manipulating stepfather against son, mother against stepson with Kabuto, kid that was Kabuto Yakashi, kidnapping civilians and ninja within the Leaf, half of them for Orochimaru's sick and twisted experiments, and the other half for his own shadow division of the Black Ops. What else? Oh, casting Naruto as a scapegoat for the Ninth, barring the Uchiha clan from ever participating in defense of the village when the when Kurama got let loose the night of the attack. Banishing the clan to the easternmost portion, outskirts of the village, putting them under constant surveillance, blabbing about Naruto's Jinchuriki status from the moment he could walk which was about the time Naruto was 3 or so, and cast him as the village's scapegoat to get him shunned by the civilian council, by the civilian populace. Stole Shisui Uchiha's right eye so he could use Kodatsu Matsuki, a genjutsu that basically allowed him to manipulate people through subtle hypnotic suggestion. Oh, and another thing I forgot he did with Orochimaru, but this comes after basically forcing Itachi to slaughter his entire clan, son Sasuke, injecting himself with first Hokage cells and implanting 10 Sharingan eyes into the right arm, into his right arm. And he use a genjutsu that basically allows him to cheat death called Izanagi, which at the expense of the sight of one eye. Look, I know I sound like I'm fucking rambling, but it's for the sake of context. I'm getting to why Stearns and Mendoza both deserve to get their damn heads cut off this early in the year. Okay? So hang in with me, all right? It's been a while I've done anything on ADSN anyway, but having said that, and basically saying that Itachi went mad and slaughtered his entire clan when in truth he didn't want the trail leading back to him. Oh, and his big nail in the coffin, killing the messenger toad that would have alerted Naruto sooner about Pain's attack on the village, all in an attempt to make Tsunade look incompetent. Then he tried to manipulate the 5 Kage summit after he became interim 6 Hokage to basically be the leader of the alliance, only to be ratted out by one of the bodyguards of the 5th Mizukage, or Mist Shadow, who had a Byakugan from a main branch house member that he had taken as a battle trophy to sniff out his chakra network, which forced him to flee once Sasuke was onto him. Fought Sasuke, lost, and died. That level of that's the kind of collateral damage David Stearns is causing to the Mets. Mendoza, on the other hand, is I don't care what his wife said at the end of last year that he suffers from manic depression. The fact that you are willing to waste the Mets' attempt at a comeback, down 1 by bringing in Luke Weaver and not giving him the hook when the first man gets on and replacing him with Luke Garcia to allow Weaver to get 4 runs up in the 8th and lose the game by 5, shows that this guy has no damn clue on how to run a ball club. His bullpen management is one of the reasons many fans, myself included, cast him as a co-scapegoat last year. When is this son of a bitch gonna get, one of these 2 fuckers, these 2 criminals, these 2 terrorists, gonna get their comeuppance? That's what I want to fucking know. And for those wondering what's going on in the foreground, I'm watching Boston against St. Louis. Not calling it, though. This isn't fucking funny anymore. Unless we get Mendoza has lost the lost the locker room. And when a manager loses a locker room the way he has, he's got to go. When a GM loses so much faith, throws so much faith from the fan base in the garbage like Stearns did, you also got to cut his head off. The fact that the team has now lost 4 in a row after winning 4 in a row is frustrating. Other context as to why I equate Stearns to Donzo is that he's an emotionless piece of shit. I mean, you do not, who shows no loyalty. Let me pull this up. Why do people hate David Stearns? Hello, Barry. Reason 1, people hate him. Roster construction and pitching players. Blame for the historic collapse in 2025. Though to be fair, it wasn't as terrible as the 07 collapse. Fans and pundits such as Jake Asman, and I wish myself was added to this, targeted his inability to build competitive and reliable pitching staffs and failures in trade deadline acquisitions. 2, fans upset with core dismantling. Over the removal of popular players, with Stearns adopting a ruthless approach to breaking up team cores to fit a long-term vision. Yeah, his long-term vision is that of a con artist game. Cheap reception. Despite having a high payroll, fans perceive Stearns as looking for a clearance rack deals rather than aggressively signing the top-tier players, leading to accusations of passing on unnecessary talents. Lack of empathy and communications. Public comments lack emotional connection to the fans' frustrations, pressing an overly cynical, smarter-than-you demeanor on this YouTube video and NewJersey.com. Result-oriented frustrations. Following high expectations, he put immense pressure on him, causing critics to question his decision-making. Do you want to come in, Daniel? The link is right here. Then again, you don't have much to bitch about. The Dodgers are what, 10, 11, and 3 going into tonight? Well, my apologies for wanting company. Heck, Mitch Kopsky, who's not even a baseball guy for the Hardcore Sports Network, and I agree that if the Mets and Phillies don't make the playoff cut, we could at least stomach another year with Atlanta on top, winning the division. We can at least stomach another year with Atlanta on top. I mean, we could stomach another year with Atlanta on top. What frustrates me is that instead of owning up to his mistakes, Stearns doubled their mistakes. These two dumbasses double down on their approaches, and it makes me want to go to Citi Field with a gun in my hand and put a bullet in each of their fucking skulls. That is what's so damn frustrating with these two ass clowns. It's all managing from the general to the man, from the GM office to the piece of shit in the dugout. And Stevie Cohen constantly sweeps this shit under the fucking rug. And the Yankees are tapering off too. I mean, they've lost 3 in a row of their own right. Even if the Mets get a salvage tomorrow, I mean, sure, you could argue the Soto injury has something to do with it. But no, to me, this has nothing to do with the Soto injury. It has to do with Mendoza's own fucking incompetent gambling habit. It just fucking frustrates me that this dimwitted son of a bitch just doesn't want to hold them. These two dimwitted SOBs do not hold themselves accountable. New coaching staff, same head of the snake that didn't get cut off. Same product. Fuckwads! I want Mendoza gone when this, regardless if the Mets make the postseason or not. And in this case, and with the way it's going right now, they're probably not going to. And I'd be okay with that. Because it gives more, it finally lights the fire under Cohen's ass to fire both of these dimwitted fuckers. Anyone who knows me knows that these two idiots need to go, no matter the cost. And the sooner they're gone, the better. Put these two assholes in a guillotine when this season's over. Drop the lever and let their heads fall in the fucking basket in a shower of blood. I've got nothing else left to say. Sorry for how short of an episode of OTD this is, but this is more of a venting episode. Comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Mets2128. Goodbye. Good fucking night. Bang.